Welcome to another episode of Bonus Features. We are here today to talk about some big news that happened this week at D23. Was it stand for Disney 23?
Yeah, Disney, I think.
Disney Expo 3? I don't know.
Expo
I don't know what the 23 means.
I think that's what it is, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. But we have some big news in the Marvel Universe that we'd like to discuss. A bunch of stuff happened. You guys want to let us know what that is?
Yeah, so I'll kind of read off. I'm even going to go back a little bit further to some of the stuff that they first released at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read off, and then we'll kind of talk about what we think. First one, and I'm kind of going in order of the release dates as well of what they have is... So the first thing up is going to be the Black Widow movie in May of 2020. Mm-hmm. And some of the details that I've heard about this already is that it's between Civil War and Infinity War.
Interesting.
So it's not like a full-on backstory for her, and that Taskmaster is supposed to be the villain.
Which I love Taskmaster.
Taskmaster is going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. So then the first show to come out on Disney Plus is going to be Falcon and Winter Soldier. And it's going to be...
This year?
It's going to be fall 2020, so everything
Sweet.
At this point is 2020. Nothing is being released on November 12th when Disney Plus starts.
Cool.
And that's going to be Zemo is going to be the bad guy from Civil War.
Nice,
is going to be the bad guy in that.
Cool.
This is going to be pre-Snap also.
Cool.
So the next is the Eternals movie. That's the one with Angelina Jolie and a bunch of other members that they cast that I can't remember off the top of my head. That's November 2020.
They just announced Kit Harington today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That'll be a weird movie.
It's going to be interesting.
I'm not sure how I feel about that one.
Well, you kind of think about
cool.
how people thought about Guardians too when it first.
That's true.
Exactly.
Everybody was like, "Oh,
That's true.
And then there's one Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Excited
which is
for
going
that.
to be
That'll
be
cool.
good. It's going to be kind of like a kung fu, but really dive into the actual Mandarin from the comics background.
Yeah, one of the OG Marvel
I
characters.
love the Mandarin, dude.
Yep.
I love the Mandarin.
Before he became dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then WandaVision in spring of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Then Loki in spring of 2021. Both TV shows.
So far away.
I know. And then Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness is the new movie in May of 2021. And Scarlet Witch is supposed to be in that movie as well.
I read an article this morning that said in order to understand her role in that movie or the movie better, you have to watch WandaVision beforehand.
I'm sure.
So they're going to try to attach all those shows to.
They got to make sure everyone subscribes to Disney Plus.
Right.
They got to make the money. Yeah.
And the interesting thing about it is it's going to be like a horror style is what they're
I'm excited
gearing
for that
movie.
It'll be for that movie it's going to be like a Marvel horror movie is what I've heard.
So they're going with the Star Wars route of 2 movies a year with a bunch of additional content kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah. And then after that is the What If, which is an animated series. And those are like the first episode is what if Peggy Carter got the super serum instead of Steve Rogers. That's summer 2021. And then the Hawkeye series will be Jeremy Renner training Kate Bishop, which is like the younger new Hawkeye.
Yep.
Fall 2021. And then the Thor Love and Thunder movie. It's going to be interesting. Which
so not excited.
Is going to be Jane Foster becoming Thor.
Yeah, Lady Thor.
I hope the Guardians are in that movie. The Asgardians.
I'm sure.
Pretty crazy.
I'm sure they kind of need.
Surely they'll be
They got
in
to
there.
fill in what happened.
Right.
Kind of like because
Surely.
he left with the Guardians.
Because Guardians 3 is not.
Yeah, we don't have a date for that, and I'm going to get into those unannounced ones. Actually, right now, because one of the other unannounced things is the Blade. And they didn't even announce if it's going to be a movie or a TV show yet. So that's going to be interesting. And then so that still leaves. Actually, I heard today Black Panther 2 has a release date for 2022.
Yeah,
That's insane that they're so far.
It's going to be a bit.
Yeah, but it's going to be the same director whose name
Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler.
Yep.
Cool.
And then so other unannounced is Captain Marvel 2, Guardians 3, and they are already making rumors for Fantastic Four and X-Men.
How many times is Fantastic Four rebooted?
Twice.
This will be the third time?
This will be, yeah.
This will be the third.
Well, this will
Fantastic
be
Four.
the third X-Men too.
This will be the third X-Men. Are they going to go with the new X-Men?
No.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
I doubt it.
They're going to go back to the OG.
I have a feeling. Well, no, I have a feeling they're just going to redo
Just
it.
redo
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. So the 3 new things to come out of D23 are the 3 that I know the least about.
Okay.
Is Ms. Marvel with Kamala Khan. So she'll be the first Indian American.
First Muslim.
Yeah, that's what it was. First Muslim character.
First Muslim Marvel character.
And then Moon Knight,
Woo!
which I've
Luke
heard
is
is going to be pretty awesome. So you'll have to
Is that a movie?
fill
or
me
show?
in. No,
It's a
these
show.
are all 3 going to be series, and then She-Hulk.
I don't care either which way. Like,
Yeah.
people like the comics a lot, but it's just not
The only
my
reason I would watch that is if that
forte.
has some kind of connection to something.
Yeah, so that is everything
That's
that
insane.
Marvel has in the pipeline right
so
now.
the next thing up is Black Widow.
Next thing up is Black Widow, which there was at D23 a trailer released, but it hasn't been released to the general public yet. But
Yeah.
of course, people filmed it on their cell phones, and some of the footage I've seen is just pretty basic. Just her, like, I think fighting some dude in like an apartment.
Yeah.
So, but
Classic Black Widow.
David Harbour is in it.
uh,
He's going to play like
yeah.
the Russian Captain America kind of guy or
Is
whatever.
Jeremy
it is.
Renner?
oh,
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner going to be in it?
he's not confirmed yet,
I
but
bet he
there
makes an
is
appearance.
rumor.
Yeah, I bet he makes an appearance. I'm excited for Marvel. I think it'll be interesting to see how well the TV shows do.
Yeah.
Because some of them did really, really well on Netflix.
Yeah.
Some of them did really poorly on Netflix.
Right.
So it'll kind of depend on who carries the show. I think Loki's show will be awesome. I can't wait for that.
Time traveling
I think-
demigod
I
or
think
whatever he
that'll
is.
be, yeah,
Yep.
I think that'll be incredible. I'm excited for the Falcon show.
The
That'll
Falcon Winter Soldier.
that'll be interesting.
Because he's going to be, he's now as Captain America. He's now Captain America
because this
pretty
is this is going to be
This says pre-snap.
so this isn't going to be like
Is the details
right now.
I have currently.
So that'll be interesting to see what they do then.
So I'm gonna be interested. So it may kind of fall in the same time. Let me think about it. Yeah, same point in the timeline as the Black Widow movie.
right.
much. Yeah.
So between
Civil War
Civil
era,
War and
yeah.
Infinity War.
Interesting.
So
That'll be weird.
who knows?
I'm least excited about the WandaVision of
Yeah.
those 3. And then the other 3, I don't really, like we talked about, Moon Knight is far and away the most interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Black Widow movie has a chance to be really good.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, as long as they haven't really failed on any movie yet. So,
Not since the early days. Not really.
yeah,
yeah.
Even the early days weren't
terrible.
bad because no one really knew what was happening yet.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they do it correctly, like, I could see them, instead of doing maybe, like, the Civil War, because, like, none of the plots have been confirmed. Maybe they do, like,
True.
explore the whole Budapest thing.
True.
Her
I'd-
and
I'd
Hawkeye
love to
always
see
talk
that.
about.
I'd love to see that. I think a lot of people would love to see that, of her, like, actually starting out as an assassin or whatever, and then going
Right.
to have to kill Hawkeye, and then obviously, like, or Hawkeye having to killing her. I forget. Which one was it?
It
One
never
of-
really says.
One of them is, like, supposed to kill the other, and then they don't.
I mean, I've
They
heard
talk about that, like, in the very first Avengers movie.
I've heard multiple rumors.
But-
Um,
Yeah, the Budapest thing's got to come up, surely. It's like her
Because
movie.
they talk about it,
Yeah,
like,
it's-
every movie there, and they're like,
it's
oh, it's
her
not
movie.
like Budapest. And you're like,
Right.
what is Budapest? I know what Budapest is, but, like, what happened to Budapest?
It's got to
Right.
be. It's got to be in there.
yeah.
I'm personally, of all the D23 stuff that came out, I'm more excited about the Star Wars stuff. I think because it's coming out like
Soon.
now.
Yeah.
Compared to Marvel, it's like, oh, I'm excited,
You're right.
but I'm not.
Which
because
we're going to
it's-
do a bonus feature on, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah, AJ, cool it.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Like Marvel, it's cool for Marvel to announce all this stuff, but it's
Yeah.
kind of like when OU says, "Hey, we're gonna play Alabama in 2027.
Yeah.
Get ready." It's like,
Right.
Well,
It's so
I'm going to
far.
be in my 30s.
it's like, yeah,
by
I'll be
then.
35.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
So I think
Summer
that's really
of
cool.
2021 sounds it's a long way away, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Marvel
Or
does
2020.
with the fans. I'm interested to see. Obviously, you're going to have hardcore Marvel fans who are you're going to stay strong.
Totally.
But what I'm saying is those gajillion people who went and saw Endgame. How many of those types of people are going to subscribe just to have like this content? I
The
don't
price they put on
It's
it
cheap.
is so
It's
cheap.
cheap.
and
Oh
it's
yeah,
like-
I mean
it's
it's
cheap.
$6.99
Yeah.
a month or $70 a year.
Which I absolutely
Like-
hate. But, like, I'm like, man, I don't want another streaming service. But it's like, if they have all this content on there, it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it may end up like Jan and I've kind of talked about it. Like if it's good enough content, and most of the stuff, we probably will cancel Netflix and maybe even like Hulu.
I haven't watched a whole lot of Netflix lately.
Netflix for me, the only reason I'll keep Netflix is for those original series, like Stranger Things and those kinds of shows. Which honestly, Netflix, in my opinion, needs to just go full in on that stuff, or else they're going down. Yeah. The Hulu side of it's interesting because Disney actually owns Hulu, and so
they're doing a package.
They're going to use that as a package deal, and Disney Plus will not have any content that's higher than PG-13, and they're going to funnel all of their adult content into Hulu. So all the adult movies, all of the adult TV shows, those are all going to be on Hulu, and then Hulu will have like the 3 main networks: NBC, ABC, CBS. So like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Community, those kinds of things that won't be on Disney Plus. Disney will still own Hulu and still run that service. So I'll probably keep Hulu. I don't know if I'll go downgrade to the ads.
Right. Yeah,
package,
but as of right now, all they've announced is it's Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus,
which I think is interesting
with ads. Which I think it was like $15 a month.
13 or $14,
which I hate ads. So unless they bump up a package that's no ads, I'm probably not going to pay for that. But I'll definitely. But it may be. We'll just have to see. It may be the Netflix killer that everybody's saying it might be.
Yeah,
I think Netflix eventually they're going to be forced to either sell the brand or start selling individual properties, kind of like Sony had to sell out, Fox had to sell out individual properties. So I could totally see Netflix staying alive by those revenues that they're getting for selling properties. So for example, Disney could buy Stranger Things.
Sure.
But Netflix would make, a gajillion dollars one time down payment or whatever instead of actually going under bankrupt or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I think that'll be interesting to see how that works out.
They're still making billions of dollars. And what they're doing now is they're basically just a production house for all these smaller movies or TV shows that all these big networks aren't picking up and that they see have probably a chance. And so they're picking them up and then they're producing them and stuff. So they're giving all these shows that wouldn't be given like the light of day by, NBC, ABC, or whatever, and they're doing it, and so it's more of like a small-time movie / TV show.
Place and they have a lot. They've been pushing the documentary stuff a lot, really, really hard recently with all the docu-series and things coming out, which I don't know Disney Plus will have a market for that. I think National Geographic is a part of the Disney Plus.
Yeah, National Geographic. So a couple of the other, or actually first, let's say, Luke, what of some of the things we said for Marvel, like what's some of the things you're excited for or least excited for?
I'll give my top 2 of each. Okay. So most excited for, announced at D23 or announced in general?
Just all of those that we've mentioned today.
So Moon Knight obviously is the one I'm excited for because Batman's my favorite superhero of all time, and he's like basically the Marvel's Batman, just like if Batman was insane kind of thing. And so I'm excited to see that. I know a lot of people online have been like wanting something like that. Everyone's like, if you could see one superhero adaptation, like what would you want? Everyone's like Moon Knight and stuff. Right. And so that one's going to be really cool. What else is Marvel wise, I'm of course excited for the Winter Soldier and Falcon just because I enjoy those 2 characters. But I'm really interested. I'm going to say the Eternals because we have Thor and stuff. That's like all the Norse mythology in Marvel, and these guys are basically the Greek ones. And so I love Greek mythology, and if like this somewhat like portrays that in a way kind of thing, and they have an all-star cast for it so far. Like I said, they now announced Kit Harington
Angelina
Jolie, the guy that was just in that movie Uber, right? Or Stuber.
Stuber. The guy he's also in, I can't remember his name, but he's also in Silicon Valley. But he's another Indian guy. But it's going to be interesting to see him in this role to see, because he's hilarious. Like in the Stuber movie, he looks really funny. In Silicon Valley, he's hilarious. So if he's going to be a funny character, it might be great. If it's more of a serious thing, I don't know.
Well, he's the Harold and Kumar guy, right? Too.
No, that was Cal Penn.
Oh, okay. But no, I'm excited for this. They released a picture of them all in their outfits today, which looked pretty
Oh,
cool.
I didn't see that.
So, yeah, I think those two I'm most excited for. The ones I'm least excited for is probably She-Hulk, because I'm curious how they're gonna do that. Like, is it gonna be a lot of CG like they did with actual Hulk and stuff? Is like, because obviously they have giant budgets by looking at some of the trailers they released for some of the shows, like especially the Star Wars one, like the Mandalorian, like that is high budget. But I'd say She-Hulk, and I'm actually excited for WandaVision. I like Wanda. I like Scarlet Witch as a character. I liked her a lot in Endgame. Gosh.
I thought she was good in Endgame. She was probably the best. That was probably the best movie for her yet. Wasn't that one?
Her worst one was probably Ultron? No. I want to say Civil War. I didn't like her as much in Civil War.
I would agree.
She lost her accent. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's bad.
But I don't know. I don't have one. I don't think I have two that I'm least excited for. I'm just going to say She-Hulk.
Interesting.
Well, yeah. So in the last few minutes we have of this one, let's actually talk about the biggest thing right now that Marvel is doing, and that's losing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
what do we feel about that?
Well, do you guys know what happened? Like what happened to where they lost Spider-Man?
I know high level details, maybe not the fine details of they were in. They made the deal to basically with Sony, like to partner with Sony to do the Spider-Man in Civil War, Infinity War, do the 2. I think they even signed on to do 3, but can't remember exactly. Movies, solo movies.
Yeah.
But they just recently, yesterday, 2 days ago, something.
It's been a few days, yeah.
Made that to where they didn't agree on terms, so they're not letting Marvel use Spider-Man anymore.
That's
I think it's
basically it.
I think it's a good move by Sony because, like, what other property does Sony have?
Exactly.
I mean, I know Sony owns like PlayStation and stuff. Like they've got a lot of other markets that are owned, like they got going for them. But like by far the highest, like level character that they own is Spider-Man. It's not even close. Right. And we've already seen that Sony can make a decent Spider-Man movie by themselves with
pretty hit or miss, but
so like obviously they're standalone, so they're not nearly as popular as like Spider-Man in a series of like with the MCU. But I thought the Andrew Garfield movies were pretty good.
Yeah,
the second one kind of fell off a little bit. But so for me, like Sony could own that property for forever and just keep making them, and people will continue to watch them just because it's Spider-Man.
But they're acting like they're not going to keep with what they've been doing.
They're just going to...
Now, he can't be like referenced, or he can't reference any of the Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff. So it's got to be like, he can't even like talk about Tony Stark.
Right.
Can't do any of this. And it all came down to an issue of money because like you said, they... Marvel and Sony had a deal where Marvel got 5% of all profits off the movie, and they got all the merchandising sales.
Right.
And then Sony got the rest. They came together, have a meeting. Marvel was like, hey, we want 50-50. Yep. And Sony was like, we like the original deal. And so then it was cut off. And people see it two ways from what I see. Like some people are like, well, hey, Marvel like produces the things. They're the ones doing a lot of the work, and Sony's getting a lot of the money. So, I mean, it makes sense to do 50-50. But then a lot of people are like, Disney's freaking greedy. Like, we don't, like, this is just a greedy thing. Which, I don't know which one I fall in line with. I
feel like there's a compromise in the middle. Like, it didn't have to be 50-50. Doesn't need to be 95-5 either. Yeah. Like, you could totally go 75-25 or something like that. But I agree. I think Sony's playing it smart. It's just like Zeke Elliott holding out for more money from the Dallas Cowboys. It's the same idea. He thinks he's valuable, and he thinks his value is here, and Marvel thinks their value is here, and they're just trying to figure out. Yeah. I honestly wouldn't be surprised at all if Spider-Man was still in the MCU 2 or 3 years from now.
I mean, they're going to make a deal. It's inevitable.
They're going to make a deal.
I wonder if
it's beneficial for Sony. It's beneficial for Sony to allow Marvel to make Spider-Man movies.
Totally.
And Sony can pretend like they can go make their own movies, which I just said they could. They would make money, but they wouldn't be making.
They wouldn't be making $1 billion.
They wouldn't be making the $1.3 billion.
Venom made $800 million. I got close.
Yeah,
it did, but I mean, who knows if they can do that again?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, do you want to waste Tom Holland, who is the greatest Spider-Man ever, and he's 22, 23 years old.
He's like 23.
Like
Do you want to waste the next 5 years of his prime Spider-Man years arguing about money? Like,
hey, I'm cool with it. He's supposed to be in the Uncharted. You guys ever played the Uncharted video games?
So I heard about that too. Is that Sony's like delayed that again? The 5th director or something or other
Just dropped out. The guy that did 10 Cloverfield Lane, but he's supposed to play Nathan Drake in the Uncharted movies.
I think Tom Holland personally will be fine. I'm just saying, like, Marvel already has their guy, their perfect Spider-Man guy, and they're just gonna.
Well, that's what Stan Lee said. He's the embodiment of Spider-Man to him. So
he's perfect.
I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. But
So yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they make a deal.
it's sad that it had to happen.
It's mutually beneficial. Yeah.
yep.
I think it's just a lot of politics going on right now. Honestly,
Yeah.
It's all about money.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Yeah, I'm kind of like with Luke that a deal probably will happen, but I wonder if right now they're just doing this to create a little hype.
Well, that's true too. Sony probably needs a little bit of, hey, we're still here. We still exist.
Right.
It's not all Disney.
Yeah.
Not all Marvel. Which is crazy that Disney is the way it is now. Because when I was a kid, Disney was just like one of the people, one of the groups
Doing the animated movies.
and they kind of dabbled in different things.
And now they own the world.
Now they own everything. It's insane.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, all right, let's
Want to
wrap this one up. And like I said, we're gonna also be putting out a bonus feature for the Star Wars content, so stick around for that one.
Awesome. Thanks for listening. Look out for the next episode if I can close this out.
Gosh, Luke.
Catch you next time.